When you begin working on the Alessandro Longo Bassoon Suite excerpt, it's important to familiarize yourself with the score and the piano part as well, even though you'll probably be playing unaccompanied for this audition. So keeping that in mind as a place to start from, so that you're not working from the bassoon part alone, but you understand the harmony and how these different sections fit in with the whole suite as a piece of music. And from there, you can start to discern what the character is of each section. You have three main sections here: andante con the andante, the theme at the beginning, the faster section, and then the poco meno mosso that ends the excerpt. Now each of these have their own stylistic characteristics, although they belong to the same piece. So the first you might think of more lyrical, and it's important to situate it in the key of G minor so that you recognize the F sharps functioning as the leading tone to G, and the B flats and A flats and other accidentals functioning as accidentals that color the quality of the mode. So, and there is a little section where, of course, you have the A flat and the B natural or B flat. And I read this as, temporarily in the key of C minor, so I hear it a little bit as the harmonic minor. So it has a real expressive quality to that augmented second that you have there. And that will help you then perform it without the piano part, but hearing the harmony in your head as you play. Now in the second section, it's important to practice it slowly and without making the notes too short, because if you play them too short, you'll be limited in how fast you can play it. But if you start practicing them long, not only will your air support be better, but your fingers will actually be moving faster in between the notes. The shorter you make the notes at a slow tempo, the easier it is for your fingers to not be clean. But if you practice it even slurred, you'll hear right away if your fingers are clean or not. Okay, so if there's any sludge in there, that's going to come out when you play it fast. And then, of course, it might be very useful to practice in different rhythms, okay? So like a dotted rhythm. And always practicing with good technique, so making sure that you have enough half hole and that you're venting or flicking the B flat and C and A natural in these sections. And I like to add the crescendo that's written on the first two scales going upwards. I add it to almost all of them just to facilitate, especially when you go up to the high B flat, to make sure you have enough air support to get to that note, and it prepares the sforzando at the end of the scale. And then coming down, this passage, yeah, da-dee-da, da-dee-da, da-dee-da. It's important to note that the eighth note is not actually staccato. So he intentionally, or the engraver has made it a little bit longer to allow us to hear this melody. So if you can hear that melody, then the 16th notes just become decoration, and they're not as important as the actual melody notes, and that can help you in your preparation for it. There's a couple of passages where actually most of the passages begin either on the E or the 16th note, so not on the beat and not on the and. If you try to breathe in the beat, you might make it on time, but you also might not be prepared in advance. So you'll notice that in my recording, I breathe before that beat. So I know I can be right on time for my pickup note. And the same happens in this passage starting in 46-5-4-3. In 43, where you have rests, if you can keep your air support sustained, that way you know the note's going to speak when you want it to, and you're not having to re-engage your air support every single time you have a short rest. Now just a few notes on the last section. It's a much different character. It's a lot more lyrical, but you can apply some of the same techniques. So for example, in 75-6-77, you have a melody with decoration notes. If you just play the eighth notes, okay, and then the decoration notes are just augmenting that melody. Okay, and that can allow you to prepare for the embouchure or air changes that you need to bring out that melody. And then the rallentando at the end, just make sure that you're hearing it within the eighth notes. Okay, so if you take the last 2.5-ish measures, make sure you hear all 3 eighth notes in the A flat to prepare the rallentando so that the C then is the same speed as the eighth notes in the A flat. So enjoy this piece, listen to the recordings with piano as well, and find the characters that will make it engaging and fun to play.